And what should a proficiency-based learner-centered teacher consider when creating assessments or establishing evidence of learning with kids?
Well, again, there isn't this kind of huge shift in how we use assessments, right? If we're doing things the right way, assessments serve kind of two primary purposes. They're diagnostic tools, so we know where students are at on any given day, what they're understanding, what they're not understanding, what students really get it and need to shoot ahead, what students aren't getting it and we need to provide extra support for, and then assessments serve as evidence for understanding, right? So we look at the assessments and we can say it's evident based on how the student performed on this assessment that they're proficient in the standard. The thing that really changes is that you're going to want to build what I would call a canon of assessments. So you're going to want multiple assessments for your various standards. Now, that seems daunting, and it's certainly hard work, but don't be afraid to rely on your colleagues. Teachers are some of the greatest thieves, and so if you find a colleague who's got an assessment that you really like and you think it might work for a student where they maybe struggled with one of your assessments, it's an opportunity for you to meet the needs of students and have them do assessments that kind of meet them where they are. So developing multiple assessments for multiple standards is kind of the big change, but you're still using formative assessments to diagnose where students are at, and you're still using assessments to acquire evidence as proof that the student's proficient in the measurement topic.
And what should a proficiency-based learner-centered teacher consider when creating assessments or establishing evidence of learning with kids?
Assessments must be focused on the learning targets. They can't be focused on Chapter 1 or Chapter 2. They must be focused directly on the target so that students can demonstrate their understanding of that target. Giving exemplars, giving kids lots of time to practice is super important before an assessment so that they can be successful. We want them to show proficiency. If they don't know what proficiency looks like, then the assessment is not going to go well. Making sure that my instruction is focused on the targets so that when kids take the assessment, they have had the instruction that they need. Whether that instruction is direct instruction or group projects or whatever it is, that they have the skills to be proficient on the assessment.
So what should a proficiency-based learner-centered teacher consider when creating assessments or establishing evidence of learning with kids?
Now, I am a huge fan of, I'm actually a newbie at this job. I came in late in my career, and in my studies, Howard Gardner, his theory of multiple intelligences was really big for me. And I know that I have students who learn with their hands, who love to make music, who tend to enjoy posters over paper tests. So I try to consider all of those different learning styles when I try to deliver instruction and assess. For me, one of the things that we try to do across our department, I'm a math teacher, is we double check, cross check across the different teachers, and so we're sure that if I'm requiring either a paper test or a project for a particular target, that the project that is commensurate with the amount of work or the amount of evidence that a student may have to provide for a paper test. So giving students options for evidence during the work, the lead up to an assessment is important for me too. Typically I'll give students the option to either provide evidence on a paper-based, some sort of a worksheet or a project, but also an online-based tool like iExcel or Khan Academy or even Manga High. So I try to give students a choice on different ways for them to demonstrate that they're also learning.